This is Leicester Till I Die TV. Watch and subscribe on YouTube and listen on your podcast platform.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here. Now be sure to watch Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV by subscribing on YouTube and following them on social media for all the latest Leicester City news and information. Come on you foxes!
Strap yourself in,
because we're set up, switched on and ready to go.
Seven, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And it's live.
Hey, live. I don't know if you're live. I'm half dead. I tell you, I've been up all night. Just fell asleep this morning. Talk Sport ring me. Can I come on the radio straight? Oh, yeah, when? Went right now. I'm like, oh, I think there's a little match going on this afternoon, isn't there? Hey, there is. 1969 was the last time we were in there. We're back now. Let's make the most of it, guys. Face paint's worked. It looks better on here because when I looked in the mirror, I couldn't see the yellow. I thought I was suffering from jaundice. But we're literally a few hours off kickoff. Oh, how are we feeling? Did we sleep well? Are we feeling excited? Are we feeling nervous? Or, yeah, I won't say anything to that one. But let's be honest with you. I bet we've all been there this morning, haven't we? Oh yeah, and if you've not, you're lying. Look, it's the FA Cup. It's not perfect because we can't all be there, and I know. And there's a lot of people that sort of are moaning because we can't get in there. And I know I must admit it'd been towards the end of the season like it normally is. Maybe we could have got more. But there's one person who can't be there today that, in all fairness, more than anybody, deserves to be there today. Yeah, and I'll just be honest with you, if it wasn't for that guy, we wouldn't be there. So if you sat there thinking, oh, I wish I could be there, yeah, at least you can watch it on the telly. I did say this on the show last night, on the preview show with Craig, that he's brought so much to this club. He didn't just buy a club. I think we all agree he bought into the community. I never thought as a Leicester fan, and I like to say I'm 60 years young this year, that I would ever see my club lift the Premier League trophy. I never thought I would sit with my son at the ground of my team and watch us in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And I never thought we'd be in an FA Cup final. Top and Kuhn, this is for you. Thank you for everything that you have done for this club, because without you, who knows where we would be right now. So for me, and I'm sure every single Leicester fan out there, thank you very much. This is Leicester Till I Die TV. We are live on YouTube, Leicester Till I Die TV. Please give us a little subscribe if you will. That would be fantastic. Group Leicester Till I Die, and Twitter sphere if you do the old twittering at Leicester TID. I've put a little link, pinned it to the top of the comments here on YouTube, that if you are watching, you can click on that, come and join us for 5 minutes. But let's get my co-host in. Bless him, he's been sat there waiting 2,000 odd years. And we're just trying to secure the connection now, because we're trying to connect to Bethlehem. Good evening, are you there? Yes, we've got you. How the devil are you? Let's say a very good afternoon, and hope that he's watching.
Hi,
Chris. We're getting some feedback
I think. Yeah, sorry, it's because I'm upstairs. Let me see if maybe it's the Wi-Fi connection. It's probably because my Wi-Fi has been around for 2021 years. We haven't upgraded over here. So yeah. We didn't take care of this area when we built it. We gave them all a bunch of foolish clubs and not support Leicester. So still got some work over here.
I think you might have to log off and log back on again.
Okay, it's fine my end. So it's obviously when it's streaming.
Yeah, I'm getting a lot of feedback. So we'll bring Brad back. No, that's just as bad, mate.
I don't understand, because it's fine my end. I can hear you clearly and I can hear myself. I don't understand. Fuck this day. Fuck's sake. Fuck.
Honestly, that's Jesus. You wouldn't think Jesus would use language like that, would you? Hey, let's while we're waiting to reconnect our link to Bethlehem, and I think he probably was in Bethlehem there. Let's have a look at a few comments. Matthew, good evening. Good evening. That's a force of habit. Good afternoon. Yes, come on, the Foxes. I agree with you. Facebook user, not sure who you are. Come on, you Blues. Indeed. And another Facebook user here. I just hope the team do themselves proud, win or lose. I've said this all along, that what we are looking for is a performance today. It isn't, we'll win, we'll lose. I don't know. Then, at the end of the day, I just want the performance. I don't want the performance that we put against Newcastle or Fulham. I want the performance that we put against Man United. And if we lose, we lose. Hopefully we won't. Bronze Plumber, long time no see, buddy. How you doing? Getting a little nervous already. Hey, I tell you what, I've built a commode in here, so I don't have to move, just in case. Can't believe how far you've brought Leicester to my die page. Brilliant, Chris. Thank you very much. Don't know who you are because it's just showing Facebook user, but thank you so much for those words. Matthew, I'm getting emotional already. Stop. Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But it's him. If it wasn't for Chai, who knows where we would be now. Facebook user saying, well done, Chris. Rob here. Good evening. Good afternoon, even, Rob. Come on, the Foxes. Brad been drinking. I reckon, you know what it is with Brad? I reckon he keeps saying to me, like, I've got to practice making this water into wine into water, and I just think he goes and buys it cheap from Aldi just to knock it back. It's just an excuse. We'll try him again. Let's try him again, and we'll see if this time the line to Bethlehem is a little bit better. Let's bring him in, and fingers crossed.
Is that better?
That is perfect.
I don't know what it is. It's only because I'm upstairs for this one because my housemates have gone out, and the last thing I want is halfway through is them walking through the front door and me having to take on a house tour of Bethlehem's manger. And I keep forgetting when I'm upstairs, the Wi-Fi is so crap, and when I cut it off, it messes it around, and I don't hear the audio discontent that you guys are getting. So I do apologise, but I am back now, and it's not water into wine, but it is.
Oh, at least I'm waiting. At least I'm waiting. And as Sky would say, if there's any little children watching that heard a bit of a naughty word there, we apologise in advance. How you feeling, Brad?
Mixture of everything. Bit nervous, excited. You know, as I've said before, you know, this is my first time ever seeing Leicester play in an FA Cup final. I've seen them play in the playoffs final. This will be the first time that I can remember that I've not been to Wembley when the Foxes have been there. So there's a little bit disheartening thing to not be there, which is obviously everybody who's not going is going to be a little bit gutted they're not there. Even if it was a full stadium, you know, you'd be gutted not to go there.
There'd be some of us that wouldn't be, that wouldn't get tickets. I agree. Yes,
but I think there's also a bit more air of confidence, optimism. I'm feeling probably more optimistic than some Foxes because although I know our history in FA Cup finals, I've never experienced it. So I think that might help the players. Because obviously when we were the FA Cup final specialists, as in making the final but never winning it, it was in a collective period, wasn't it? It was like the 60s and then the 80s, and that. Whereas these players haven't, unlike O'Neill's side with the League Cup runs, and that this side hasn't had that, and this is a first experience. And most of these players, if not all of them, I think, I think all of them have never experienced an FA Cup final, and it's just a great thing to be there. And unfortunately, tragically, obviously, we know our great owner and great father to owner's son won't be there in physical being, but I'm sure he's there today. I'm sure he's watching the game from above over the lads and giving them all the encouragement he can.
Yes. I think
it's not a sponsored video, so I will be covering my logo with the drink if you don't mind.
Yes, they're not sponsoring us, so just be careful there, mate.
Advertising.
But enjoy it. I try and get money out of them afterwards. It's true though. I mean, the problem and the thing that worries me is which Leicester are going to turn up.
Yeah, that is always the concern with Leicester, isn't it? It doesn't matter how long you've been following, whether it's been this season, 20 years, 30 years, whatever. You quickly learn with Leicester being a supporter of them that it's going to not be very good for your health at times, and that you're always trying to second guess which Leicester turns up. And like you said, Chris, if the right Leicester turns up, it's going to be a magical day throughout, and it'll be celebrations and equivalent to when we won the league, won't it? It's going to just hit that heights because, again, until that happened, this is something Leicester have yet to win. So if they do it, I can imagine in a COVID-restricted sense, Leicester fans will celebrate in the same manner.
It's come at just the right time because at least we can sort of be with people, can't we? And
true.
Yes,
Although I have realised a lot of Leicester fans are secret alcoholics for this moment. I put a post up at midnight asking if 18 beers were enough for the game, and people telling me to double or triple the amount of drinks I was getting, and so a lot of fans are already trying to calm the nerves with whiskies and wines and all sorts. So we can have an AA meeting afterwards if all doesn't go to plan.
Just be careful you don't spend all the time in the loo.
Yeah, definitely.
Mind you, having said that's when Leicester are likely to score. So yes, do go in the loo. David's been to 5 finals, mate. As we said the other day, you've got our respect. If you're not going to this one, it might be your fault. We know to blame that we keep losing if we win today.
Yeah, you're banned, Dave. If we win today, you're banned from going.
Luca, good evening. Oh, good afternoon. I'm going to say good evening. So good evening, good morning, good whenever. Arsenal fan, but nice to have you on anyway, mate. You did us a favour midweek against Chelsea, so I can't really have a dig at you, but thanks anyway. So it's a funny season because it's a season that promises so much, Brad, but a season that could ultimately again end in disappointment.
Yeah, and although the odds on that ending in great disappointment are very slim, it would be typical. It would be typical of Leicester because we don't like to do things the easy way, that we find ourselves having a chop and change on the last day of the season. But there was probably a lot of Leicester fans that were thinking this was like we've said before, this was only Leicester's second real season where they've been fighting on four fronts: the league, the two cups that they're always in, but also Europe. And I think even if with the twinges of disappointment today doesn't go the way we hoped, and there's a big disaster, and to me it would be a big disaster in the sense that we're in such a strong position and we're probably more favourable. I think it'd be very cruel for Leicester to not finish in the top four now. But even if that did happen, it's one of them where, as a perspective, as fans, you'd have to try your best to ignore how the media would approach it and see it as for a successful season it's been. Because trying to compete on all four fronts and being in the top four, the only side that's never dropped out of it, and to get to a final of a major cup competition, I still think
it's not a bad season all round, is it? Really,
it's still not something to underline as a bad season. If you'd have said to me in August, Brad, we're going to get to a cup final. I don't know which one, but we're going to make a cup final and we're going to guarantee European football with 2 games to go, I'd snap your hand off without knowing the outcome. So I think that's the way Leicester fans need to take the mentality into this afternoon's game and the remaining 2 league games.
And whatever happens, like you say, even if it's this Europa Conference, whatever it is,
well, it can't be that now. Mathematically, can't be the Europa Conference. Mathematically, we can't go into Europa Conference.
Right. So we're in Europa League.
Teams in that position 10 points behind us when they've only got 9 points to play for themselves. So we can't go into Europa Conference.
Hey, even you see, you're teaching me something here. Even if I don't agree with your formation, you're teaching me something here. It's great that we were on a show last night. Everybody, there was 2 Chelsea fans and me and Brad, and it was me and Brad that couldn't agree on a team and the formation, really, wasn't it? But I did see the team actually. Where was Vardy in the combined 11?
Right. Now, before the pitchforks and torches come out at me, as I like to jest a bit, I like to do these. I know you, Chris, say you don't really pay particular attention to teams, and that's why you didn't really do too much involved in it.
I didn't do anything involved in it.
Well, actually, you snuck in there and built your own Leicester 11, and that was quite. I like that. I like the way you kind of took over that bit, and I was like, "Go on, Chris, get some more in."
But no, it's only because I don't follow, in this case, Chelsea enough to be able to say that player is better than one of mine. I mean, I know Kante, I know Chilwell, Werner. There's 3 or 4 I know, but not enough of the team. Because I don't care for their team. Obviously, now other people follow it more, follow the teams more, and you were better fighting our corner than I ever would have been. And thank you, David, for that.
Yeah, cheers, David, for that. For the sport on the channel. Before the pitchforks and all people go cursing me and telling me I don't know what I'm doing. When I build these 11s, I build them in the mind that if I could make a team for Leicester and I had to compromise with, because it's a combined 11 and put players in of the opposition, in a case of Chelsea, you may have saw on that team that Chilwell made it. Well, my argument was I was happy for Chilwell to make it in because I'm going off a season. And although Vardy's been incredible this season, for me, if that team was to go forward for the next 2 to 3 years, and that's just how my brain does these sort of things. So as much as Vardy would have made it in, had the formation been different, I'll let you know that, because if it had been wingers, in the actual would have played on the wing and Vardy would have been up front. But I wanted to think mentally in 2 to 3 years' time, I would want Iniacho up front with with someone else.
You were hamstrung by the formation that you both agreed on. So yeah, that
he
obviously
stitched
has
us
an
up. We
effect.
wanted wingers, and he stitched us up with cams because it threw us both completely off. To be honest,
You know. Anyway,
otherwise Vardy would have made it.
for me, it would have been 11 Leicester, but there we go.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's only because I don't know enough. Yeah. Welcome to Ankit, our Chelsea fan. He might be joining us a little bit later to say us how well he's got butterflies there. I tell you what, I've got butterflies. I've got a whole bloody set of them in my stomach. If I suddenly disappear stage left, I've nipped to the loo.
Yeah, and I tell you what is. Sorry, just quickly. I just tell you what is nice. So, we found out from that show that we was on, Chris, and I found it out from we spoke to a few Chelsea fans over the last couple of days. It's weirdly nice, and in the weirdest way. When was the last time you remember playing Chelsea and their fans had you down as slight favourites? I know it sounds minimal, but we've never really played Chelsea in my time, and they've gone, well, actually, we're worried, if not more, about you than you are about us.
Yes,
I found that quite refreshing as well.
It is, and I think that comes from these sort of channels because you get to speak to, and every club has the fans that are sort of maybe need to plug the brains in before they sort of turn the microphones on. But on these sort of shows, you do tend to find reasonable fans from other sides. And I was talking to a West Ham fan the other day, and I think the thing that I've noticed this year is unless you are a Chelsea fan, that we are the neutral's choice.
Yeah, we are quite popular on a lot of polls. We are there to lead the way.
I mean, not necessarily think that they don't necessarily think that we will win it, which is fair enough, but they want us to win it. And like I was saying to the West Ham guy, Dan, yesterday, and do visit his channel, Let's Talk Sports. He does a lot of American football, a lot of American baseball, basketball, our cricket, football. So he does a whole mix. Although he's a West Ham fan, he does total mix on different shows. And this was just an FA Cup chat. But if it was West Ham playing Chelsea, West Ham as the underdogs, I'm not particularly like West Ham, but I'd want them to win.
Yeah, and I mean, I've got a soft spot, as you know, for West Ham, so I'd be very much supporting West Ham if they were in a final over us. But yeah, it's just showing that for all the dark times that has football gone through, the one thing that is positive is the change in the fans. In a sense that it's not, social media gets a lot of stick, and rightly so at times. It gets a lot of stick. No hate's tolerated on this show. It's not tolerated in any format for us individually on our own things or collectively on here. But sometimes social media can bring out the best in people, and I think when you've got things like this going on, and you've got Leicester making finals, you've got West Ham in the Europa League spots, you've got teams kind of stepping up within, doing so within their own restricted means, not having a financial mammoth bank accounts of these big sides, and still being up there. That you come together as a collective, and you have each other's back, and I think in the best way possible. The ESL was probably the best thing to happen to football because it kind of reignited that, didn't it? You know what I mean? That coming together of fans, putting shirts and rivalries aside, who normally, and I don't like to bring it up, would normally fight on match days, would normally get thrown in jail cells, getting scraps and all sorts of bad publicity that these fans would get, and a general consensus. The ESL accidentally became the best thing to happen to football this year because it just showed that when the chips are down and when football's under threat, they come together. And I think because Leicester's one of them clubs that is up there in the fans' views as a top club now, is building steadily to becoming a top club, and didn't partake in this elite thing and completely went against it, and have been doing things for years that's anti-money in the sense of business. For football's just a business, not a sport. I think that helps football fans back a team like Leicester and West Ham, because yes, West Ham have crap owners, but the passion of the football club itself and the people that are there that aren't just after money come through for these clubs, and that's why they're doing as well as they're doing.
Oh, totally. And let's get this out of the way now, because it comes up on every show, and I knew it was going to come up here now. In fact, I've brought it up on shows before, and we discussed this last night. Bronze Plumber asks here, if you had to choose win the FA Cup or finish top 4, which would you have? Now, last night, we discussed this last night, actually, didn't we? And I personally, when FA Cup, but I'm older. It's the one I've not seen us win. Every season is a season you're going to be in with a chance. You've got 38 games to try and win the Premier League or get into the top 4. The FA Cup next year, we could draw Man City in round 3 and get out before we've even got started. So for me, because we're there, give me the FA Cup.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's a question that we've been asked several times ever since we got to the final. We've been asked this, and it might sound like I don't particularly like the questions. I do understand why people ask them, and I don't want people to think they can't ask me these questions, because I will always answer a question like this. It's not a particular one, because I'd always say I want both because I'm greedy. But I agree with you, Chris. Over the next 10 years, Leicester could get knocked out in the 3rd round for 10 years straight and not make another final. Whereas Champions League spots, one way or another, could be earned through 3-4 times over the next 10 years.
Yeah, exactly.
I just think that's where the common sense in this one prevails. Obviously, I'd want both, and I'm sure you'd want both.
Of course. But the question is always daddy chips, isn't it? But
you've got more chance of making top 4 than an FA Cup final because
No, Stephen Collins there says, did Adamant help you with your makeup? I love it. Prince Charming.
Which is not okay. He's not okay, Annie. I can tell you that much.
You say that again, sorry.
I said Chris is okay. He's okay. I can tell you that much. I was thinking more of. I got the wrong one in my head when I was saying it. I was thinking of someone else. That's why I did what I did.
Have you just opened another beer? Because I honestly think you've had enough, mate.
No, I was thinking of a group that did the version of Michael Jackson's Annie, You're Okay, when he put Adamant, and I was thinking of Alien Ant Farm, and that's why it triggered in my head to do that version. So
I'm going to say you can't get Adamant and Michael Jackson mixed up, can you?
No, Alien Ant Farm did Annie, You're Okay, and I just got confused between the two. My brain saw Ant and went, oh, that's where he's going with it. I realised if I could have clicked on a bit better.
Somebody's asking then, I'm just trying to rectify. I think I actually put the
I can hear myself. What's going on
there? Yeah. Oh, and just can you still hear me, Brad?
Yeah, no, I could hear you playing back the stream for a couple of seconds.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to update the link because somebody's saying there that, and I think I sent you the wrong link as well, didn't I? So while I'm
one email, that didn't work.
Yeah. Well, when we do that, talk us through our journey here and the different games that we've had. I'll bring the graph up in a minute, but take us back to Stoke in that January weekend.
Oh well, that's obviously start and parcel of it. It becomes a game that Leicester were excited for. It's had the potential to be a banana skin, and Leicester are unfortunately very fond of living up to banana skins. We all remember the Wickham game. We all remember Newport County, and others gone before. But it was such a commanding performance, and I think even though it was Stoke, and it was a very comfortable result in the end, I think the performance was very pleasing. And over the last couple of years, sometimes in the 3rd and 4th round, when we've drawn low league opposition, we've kind of bemoaned the starting a lineup. We've maybe seen 7 or 8 changes. And maybe for the first time in a while, a manager's backed up his words when he said, oh, no, we're taking this competition seriously. Sometimes you go, yeah, really, are you? Because you've made 7 or 8 changes. No disrespect to these players coming in, but we need to take these seriously. And when that's happened, that's probably when we've lost the banana skin games to lower league oppositions. Whereas, we had James Justin, who even with his injury, some players would say he's the player. He's been our young player of the season, at least up until that point. We had a very strong squad, and we've been that way ever since. And that really was the big, mark, if you want, for the run. That was like that's where we want to aim our standards for the whole of this competition. We don't want to be taken aside lightly, and we do want to win this competition, and we feel we can do that whilst competing in the Premier League and Europa League. And it was nice to see not just Leicester get through a lower league opposition, but to do it in the manner that they did. It was a really enjoyable third round tie.
What we're going to do is we are going to, Stephen says, step away from that beer, please. Nothing to see here. Nothing to see here.
Honest.
Yeah. Like this is water, mate. Yeah, I know what you. Yeah, of course, we all believe that. We've got a Chelsea fan. We've got a Chelsea fan in the green room at the moment, so I'm going to bring him in a second. Stephen is saying, "Get your tats out for the lads." I think is what he's trying to say. It's just, I'm not sure what. Where are we here? He's saying, "Here we go. Can you show your tattoo close up to the camera?" I think he's referring to me because this is what I had done when I drunkenly said on Facebook that we could, if we were top at Christmas, that I would have a tattoo done. And unfortunately, Leicester being Leicester, went and did it, didn't they? So I had to bring a tattoo up, and this was my tattoo. And I don't do things by halves. I've hated tattoos for all my life, and let's just bring us out a second because I'm pressing all the wrong buttons.
And he says I'm in trouble with my beer drinking. It's
There we go, guy. That was it. I put it into the wrong pile, so it went into the background rather than picture. So
I should put the beer down. You should put the gin down.
I wish I will be starting on the gin later, but let's I suddenly, honestly, guests in the show are like buses. You don't get one and then they all three come along together. Josh, thanks for joining us. I can see you there. I will be bringing you in a second, but just very quickly, I've got, first of all, and the gentleman's going to have to pronounce his name for me with all respect. Good evening or good afternoon. How do you say your name?
It's Prasanna. You can call me Pras. It's enough. You don't need to stress yourself.
Thank you so much. That makes my job so much easier. Good evening. Welcome along. How are you feeling about today?
Well, I'm actually feeling kind of nervous. I would have been confident if we had beaten Arsenal because before that, we had a wonderful performance against Madrid and we beat Man City as well, coming from behind. And I feel Arsenal game, it was like, I'm actually in America now, and it's actually morning here. Right. So an Arsenal game, I mean, it was so boring to watch, to be honest. I mean, Arsenal were just sitting back 10 men behind the ball, and we were just passing sideways, backwards. And I mean, that's the problem. If we come up against the low block, teams can beat us. And I think, I'm not sure Leicester will play with the low block. They have got they will play attacking, I feel. What do you reckon?
Go on, Brad. I'll let you answer that one.
I stand by what I said when we were putting together the formation. It's what we thought we'd go for. I think we will try and attack you the same way we did Manchester United. I honestly think we'll be fluent between the two formations. I know that does depend on if Evans is in, but I still feel that, because obviously Evans' experience is is unmatchable at the club. He's got experience in winning things, but I'd still say he might sit into a back two in that case with Fofana, and I just feel that's how we'll go about it. I just can't see Chelsea sitting back and doing what Arsenal did to you. I think it's going to be a very midfield compact game, and I think that's where the battle's going to be won. I think there'll be it could be a game where you might only get like 7 or 8 chances each side, but you'll have good chances. You know what I mean? There won't be shots that go 40 yards over the bar, you know, and you'll have 15, but you'll have like 7 really good chances, and I think it's going to be a close game.
Melina says their first time seeing Jesus in his Leicester kit. Well, I know you two talk at like 2 a.m. in the morning UK time. Is she used to seeing you out of your kit, Brad? That's a question we need to take up with the newspapers. Praz, before you go, thanks for joining us. And I want to ask you this as an Arsenal fan, because I felt this when we played Southampton, I think it was, in the... Did I say Arsenal fan? I do apologise. I probably just really insulted you now, haven't I? I need another drink of gin. That's what it is. Hey, I'm excited. Come on, give me breaks here. Now, I'm asking this as a Chelsea fan, because when we played Southampton in the semi, before that game, we had won our game and they had lost their game. And I said that gives us a psychological advantage because we're going in on the back of a win. They went in on the back of a loss. We've just beaten Man United. You've just not only lost to Arsenal, but they're a huge rival of yours to add insult to injury. Do you think that's going to affect your performance at all?
I'm not sure, because Tuchel admitted after the loss against Arsenal that he made too many changes and he should have probably stuck with some players. And I think Kante will be starting today. He confirmed that in his press conference. And I think Jorginho next to Kante makes Jorginho look a little bit better, I feel. And Rudiger will most probably start today in that back three alongside Thiago Silva and Azpilicueta or Christensen. I'm not sure who will start. Whoever starts, that is not a problem for me. And I think the front three, I think Werner will start today instead of maybe Havertz, because Havertz, I mean, I still don't know how he makes that sitter one-on-one. You should be scoring that. And the still thing, we didn't lose. It's not like we went out on a whimper. Like, we played well. We had chance after chance. We just couldn't take any of our chances. And it's like we were on the front foot for the whole 90 minutes and ball would just not go in. So
it did go in, but it went in the other end, didn't it? Thanks to a back pass out of unbelievable proportions.
Yeah. I mean, it's not just Jorginho, it's a combination of all three. I mean, Zuma shouldn't have gone back. He could have gone forward. And Kepa was way off his position. Jorginho could have looked before he passed. And it's like a combination of all three. But I still feel Jorginho next to Kante, I think, makes him feel that bit better, because we all know Kante. I'm sure you know about Kante as well, I think. Yeah, and I think
just give us. I'm going to have to move on, but just give us a quick score prediction before you go.
Oh, I'll probably say 3-2 Chelsea.
You beat me. I'm going to say 3-2 to Leicester. That's very decent of you. Hey, look, Praz, thanks for coming on. I would wish you all the best, but I've got to be honest with you, I wouldn't mean it. So, and all this, like, let's hope football's the winner. Rubbish. Let's hope Leicester are the winner, as I'm sure you hope Chelsea are the winner. But I will wish you good luck for the Champions League final.
Yeah, bro. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Take care, bud. All the best. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Cheers. I can say Chelsea fans are a little bit like buses. You wait hours for one and then they all coming along at once. Josh, I will be getting to you, mate. But we're going to say hello to Ankit. Good evening, Ankit. Oh, is it evening over there now? It will be, won't it?
Oh, yes, it is. It is evening. In fact, like, I haven't slept the last night even, so I've forgotten what is day and what is night.
Well, I've been saying good evening, everybody, haven't I? Ankit, we've obviously spoken before, and this to you as a Chelsea fan is like, it's just another. You were here last year, you're here this year. You're in the Champions League final. Come on, this is big. Let us win.
See, that's the thing, right? The fact that we have not actually won a cup, I think, from the last 2-3 attempts, that is what makes it even more sweeter to actually beat you guys. And come on, the fact is, it is a historical event anyway for you all, if I'm not wrong. I don't want to be disrespectful there, but the fact is, it is actually historical already. You made history right? For us, it's like
Yeah.
it is nothing different. So for Tuchel to prove to the media and the board he has to win a trophy, I still believe. Otherwise, as in what happened to Di Matteo, he won the Champions League and he was gone within 6 months, right? So we've got to win it, and
let's have. I mean, you've had, I would say, up until you probably more than us, up until the semi-final, when obviously you did the win over Man City. It was a pretty easy ride for you, really, wasn't it? I mean, here we are, big Chelsea up against little Morecambe, little Luton Town, little Barnsley. It was, you couldn't have made those draws better for yourself, could you? And then Sheffield United are having the season from hell.
Oh yes. That actually helped. I have to not, definitely deny that. But having said that, as I said, earlier, we had multiple competitions going on, right? So the way we actually rotated the squad and came up through Frank Lampard's sacking, I think was a major point, which was not easy in itself. So I believe those couple of ties that you're speaking about, the lower teams, definitely. Actually, in fact, the Luton Town game was actually close. If you saw the first half, Kepa was playing in goal, right? So he actually, let in one of the goals almost, and he just kind of got one near the goal line. So yes, Kepa is playing again tonight. That's what Tuchel is, confident that he's going to perform.
Yeah.
So let's hope he doesn't make that, error that he used to make last season.
Well, let's hope your defender makes a back pass like he did less than a week ago. Like I said to Praz, Ankit, I can't wish you all the best. I thank you for coming on. Leave us with a score prediction.
Yes. So after hearing that Kante is fit and is going to be there, I believe that instead of I had predicted 2-1 earlier, so I think I'll go for a 2-0. But I do see an open game. I think Brendan Rodgers will go for it because we'll score the early goal and you guys will go for it. So it'll be a close game, but we should come out on top. That's what I say.
Well, I hope you're wrong because but I do wish you, like I just said, all the best for the Champions League. I hope you do well and I hope you win that. But I hope we stuff you this afternoon. Thanks so much, Ankit, for coming on, and take care, bud. Stay safe.
Take care, guys. You too. Take care. Bye.
Cheers. Thank you. So, it's getting closer, guys. It's poo time in a minute. Hey, we're going to bring Josh and we're going to bring Brad back. Then we'll go there just to sort of have a quick swig of his whiskey. Don't know what Josh is swigging, but I'm sure it's not water. But we'll be straight back. He says straight back after this. Thank you.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
You see, I bring Brad back.
Hello, right?
I just want to say this to everybody because I caught Julian out. Julian Watts, the ex-player, last night. I caught him out. I go to one of these to these little jingles. They're 10 seconds, guys. That's all you've got. Can I just say, Brad, nice pajamas, mate.
Well.
Yeah, nice pajamas, Brad.
No, right. It's been comfortable for the day, I tell you, because they're going to be. If he gets nervous late on, I don't want to have to unbutton jeans to go to the toilet.
Hey, I tell you what, that's me. They did say to me, I think I said before, Stephen Collins said to me that if we win, am I going to do a Gary Lineker and present the next show in me boxer shorts? And I said, from here downward, you don't know what I'm wearing, But hopefully you're covered up, Josh.
I am, yeah, lads, I am. I wish I'd put my pajama bottoms on now, so me and Brad could be like twins. So we both got a beard. His beard's better than mine, but yeah.
I was going to say, yes, I think he's. You're still going for the Ragnar Lothbrok look, aren't you?
Yeah, trying. I wish I had the hair like it, but it's coming back.
and I see you've got probably one of my all-time favourite Leicester shirts on there.
I have. This one went retro today. I thought it's quite fitting. Hopefully, hopefully it brings us a bit of luck. I thought, well, change it up a bit, being with the final and that. So,
yeah. Well, we are the away team, and we're playing in obviously purple. Hence me wearing this. And I did think, Josh, that that might be a good omen, but we played Man United in the away kit and we lost. So, but it's our turn, isn't it?
You'd like to think so. I mean, I've been sort of umming and ahhing all day. You know, 1 minute I'm confident, the next minute I'm not so confident. I just want us to just go out and leave it all out on the pitch. To be honest with you, that's all we can ask. You know, just give ourselves the best chance we can. And I think Chelsea go into it favourites quite rightly as well, the way they've been playing. But having said that, you know, there's no reason we can't go out there today. We've already beat them this season. We know we can do it. But I think Brad's right. I agree with Brad. I think it's going to be won and lost in the midfield today. I think you know, the likes of Wilfred, you know, and Didi and Tielemans, should they start, you know, more likely they will than not. It's going to be definitely won in midfield today. And I think, you know, as we know, Kante is vital for Chelsea as he was for us. So I think it's vital that we'll keep an eye on him because he can make things happen.
When you say leave it all out on the pitch, you don't mean the Gary Lineker style, do you?
If you go, hopefully it won't go that way. Hopefully the game will be a bit more. It'll be a bit more comfortable for us than that. But it's strange old game football. Anything can happen, can't it? Hey?
It is true. I mean, we're going to look back in a second again because we started to look back then at the at our run to the final, just as the Chelsea fans arrived. But Brad, a point there that Josh made. It's almost going to be like I don't know if anybody watched Game of Thrones, but the Battle of the Bastards, as they said, Kante against Ndidi. No disrespect to them two. I was just likening it to a Game of Thrones episode.
Well, no disrespect to Game of Thrones fans, but I never got into it. I don't like the show, so I can't.
You're missing out, Brad.
I get the reference. I have indicated on the show that we was on yesterday that I think that's where the battle will be won or lost, and that is going to be a key battle. That's going to be one that the neutrals will be rubbing their hands together to watch. You know, Ndidi is the apprentice that has now become the master replacement for Leicester in that sense of that role. You know, one of the roles that Leicester fans were worried about replacing, weren't they? You know, we had Cambiasso there. Kante came in, Kante left. Well, is this Wilfred Ndidi any good? Is he going to be able to get anywhere near the standards? And, you know, Chris, we said it yesterday, didn't we, mate? We said he's probably surpassing Kante for what he does for Leicester in that role, for how good he can be. And that's going to be one of the key cogs and components to where the game will be won or lost. I think if one of them makes more killer passes going forward and opens up more or makes more defensive blocks, that's going to be where you see where whoever lifts the FA Cup is one of the unsung heroes behind the reasoning behind why they're going up to collect the trophy come the full-time whistle, because they are the talking points of the clubs. I mean, we sit here week in, week out, waxing lyrical about him, and I'm sure Chelsea fans are similar with Kante when he plays. It's great to see though that you know, a player of such caliber that nobody thought. You know, when you get a player, you think, oh, that's a 1 in a million. I think there was a lot of Leicester fans that thought, like Riyad Mahrez on the right, you'd never replace that with Kante in the middle. And it's so good to know that we're going into this game having someone of that caliber to go up against and say, well, whatever you can do for Chelsea, I can do for my team. And it's going to be exciting to watch. I'm sure the neutrals are a lot less nervous and a lot more excited about it than we are.
Talking of neutrals there, Melina, thank you so much. She is an honorary Fox now. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to send you a Leicester shirt, Melina. I'll have to save up and send you a Leicester shirt because you are an honorary Fox. But it is going to be one of the big battles. I haven't heard yet, and I don't know why, and I mentioned this in last night's show, we do have to keep our arms down in the box line. We have given away a few penalties like that this season. But Johnny Evans, Josh, I mean, if he wasn't fit last night, he's not going to be fit this morning. I don't think, you know, you can't. And, you know, Julian Watts said in the ex-player in the preview show last night, as footballers, you know whether that far in advance. Like I say, a day's not going to make any difference. I haven't seen any announcements this morning, but if he plays and he's fit enough to play, it's going to be a huge advantage for us, isn't it? Or a help for us, I should say.
He is, and we've said it so many times, but he's so pivotal to the way, especially with the minute Brendan likes to play sort of the back three, and without Johnny Evans, it just doesn't work for me because he is the calming influence at the back for the likes of Kagla Soyuncu and Wesley Fofana. He sort of keeps a cool head, and not only that, but his range of passing is ridiculous. For a centre back, it really is the way he sprays the ball about, and he's always calm, composed. But I think If he does miss out today and he is still injured, then it's a massive blow for us because obviously especially in a cup final like the FA Cup, you it always helps to have your more experienced players, and Evans has played in FA Cup finals before and he's won it before, so he'll know what it takes. I just regardless what the defence is today, I think. I really don't want us to play that much of a high line. I think we'll sit deep and play sort of the low block. I'm hoping anyway, because if we play the high line and they get in behind, with players like Werner and, if Havertz does start, they'll have the pace to absolutely kill us. So hopefully we won't see a high line today, fingers crossed.
Is this who I think it might be here, Josh?
Yeah,
this comment.
That's my sister-in-law. Yeah.
Well, welcome along. Just like sister-in-law, did you say?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's my partner's sister.
Well, welcome along, sister-in-law, and give us a subscribe as well. Give us a subscribe. Click that button. It is true, though. Anything is possible where Jesus is concerned. Sorry. Honestly, I really am not drunk yet, but it's just Brad disappeared from the chat. He's coming back in as we speak, but I actually changed his name on. I don't know whether he's actually noticed or not, but I actually changed his name on the screen, and I saw that come up below me, which was sort of he's got Jesus, and that's why I said Jesus. So. But you got to forgive me today. My mind's all over the place. but yeah, anything is possible with Leicester. I just like we said earlier, which Leicester will turn up. Brad, I'm going to ask you the same question as I just asked for Josh. If Johnny is available to play, and he is played, it will make a difference, won't it?
Oh yeah, of course it will. First of all, like I've said since people have asked me about the lineup since Evans got injured, if Johnny Evans is 100% fit, there's not a chance he's not in that back four. His experience is invaluable. He's won trophies galore in his time at Manchester United. And Brendan Rodgers has come out and said, that his experienced head has been the key to that back line at times throughout the season. I think against Newcastle, didn't he even said it was missing. Evans would have been able to have controlled that better, that situation, that game. And if he's available 100% fit, he's 100% got to go in that lineup. But it just shows with how good our centre-backs have been all season that it'd be incredibly harsh on someone like Soyuncu or Fofana, possibly. I'm not saying it would be Fofana, but, you can't presume it's just going to be one. But it would be very harsh on which one of them gets dropped unless he does play what we would assume would be a back three if Evans is 100% fit. But I do stand by the point, if he's not 100% fit, unfortunately, I'd rather have him fit for Tuesday.
So let me ask you this, and then I'm going to go off to Josh
today,
because
he's only 70-80% fit.
Yeah, I suppose it depends I think for me that would affect or have an effect on what we said before, which is cup or top four. And if he can play today but miss the game, I'd sooner have him in the squad today, to be honest with you, because the league is. We've said to me, I'd sooner win the cup. But you said, Brad, what was your choice of formation that you preferred? And then we'll see what Josh's is. I don't know the Brad. Oh, you got that, yeah.
yeah, I said that I feel that, especially given my thoughts and my perspective, on where Leicester are aiming to do, and in regards to fitness levels of the players and everything that's gone on, I think it's ideal that we kind of, you say don't change a winning team, but I wouldn't change a winning formation. If Brendan's found a way to go from 4-4-2 when we're not in the ball, when we've not got the ball, and attack with it, I would start with a 4-4-2 lineup, honestly, and then when we're in attacking, we can switch it to that 4-3-3.
Josh,
or 3-5-2, whatever it was.
Yeah. 5-3, 3-5, depending whether we're attacking or defending.
Yeah,
Josh,
whatever it goes to when we're attacking, we can do that.
What would you go for?
I'd probably go with a back four. To be fair, I mean, it may sound boring, but I think Brad's right. To be honest with you, I think Chelsea like to use the wings quite a lot. So ideally, really, you sort of want help for your fullbacks, really. But if Johnny Evans is fit, then it wouldn't surprise me to see a back three. If he's not fit, I don't see how we could play a back three. We got found out against Newcastle with that, and they absolutely battered us. So I'd like to see a back four, and then like Brad said, because fullbacks they will. I think it's a game where they are going to need quite a bit of help. Depending if the likes of Ricardo starting or Castagna. I think Castagna as a wing back, he's not looked out of place at all for us. Whereas I think Pereira's coming back from injury, he's had to slot in as right wing back, and he's not really been the same player. Whereas his position for me that I thought he'd really suit, to be honest with as we've seen before when we played in a back four, he liked to bomb forward and get back. And I'd say attacking wise, he's one of our better players until he got injured.
Can I just say neither of you are getting your contracts renewed next season. I respect it's your opinion, but you're just both wrong. That's hello Emma there for Lee's good lady. I've known a long time. Apparently I'm on a television. Well, I hope it's this you're watching and not the porn movie I was in. But that's a story. But I wanted to sort of stop you there because we are going to our roving reporter, and it's not Jesus in Bethlehem. Although you could say it's close, but we're going to say Craig, live at Wembley.
How you doing, everyone?
We're doing very well. You look happy.
Well, mate. I tell you what, it's there's a lot of Leicester fans in that spot there, right behind me.
Yeah.
There's a hell of a lot of Leicester fans, and they're making a lot of noise. It keeps coming and going in waves, but it's great to be in a crowd and hear the Leicester chants. I was a bit further down on Wembley Way about half an hour ago. There's a huge amount of Leicester fans, and a single Chelsea fan walked by, and he absolutely got pelters. So it's great to be back in amongst it.
Quite right as well. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, just about.
Yeah, so that's okay. I took you into solo view there, so we can see your beauty in full, sir. Because we can see the stadium behind you. Does it feel great to be back? You've got the crowd there. You know, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It does, yeah. It does. It feels great. I don't know if you can hear them, but they're just starting up again, and. Yeah, it's absolutely great to be back in amongst the crowd, particularly Leicester City fans. I think every one of them has congregated around Wembley Way at the minute. Yeah. Chelsea fans quiet, absent is the word I would use. But no, it's brilliant to be back in amongst it, and it's a great taster for what we can expect next year.
You're one of the more mature ones, like myself. How are you feeling?
I've just been speaking to a few friends or whatever. I think we all hope that we just turn up and we put on a decent performance. If we're beaten by a better side, fair enough. But there was a really good interview with Casper on Radio 5 Live earlier today with Dion Dublin. And he was talking about the fact that they talked about a cup earlier, right at the start of the season when they went away and had a big... Whether the guys have had a little bit of... their eye on that cup the last couple of weeks, maybe, but I think they're all focused on this, and I get the feeling that they really want to win this trophy. And if it means they drop into 5th, so be it. But I think they're really focused on winning this.
Do you think Chelsea? I mean, Liverpool played I think, well, Brad said as well, the second string Man United. I think we played the first string. But they stuffed Man United, which puts a bit of pressure on Chelsea because they're just behind Chelsea. Chelsea didn't overtake us. Do you think the league game on Tuesday now is going to be at the back of Chelsea and Tuchel's mind?
I mean, it might have been before, but I think once you get there, you step out at Wembley, there's a cup final, there's a cup to be won. I think all those thoughts go out the window. So it'd be interesting to see what his team selection is, but see, the weight of expectation is on Chelsea. That's a club that needs Champions League football. It needs to be winning trophies. At the end of it, this is basically a free hit for us. So I think all the pressure's on Chelsea, but I think he'll go strong with his team. I think he'll want to get a piece of silverware.
And I mean, I've got my face paint on. The rumours are that it's all going to be on your seats when you go in. So I hope if we get to see you later that you will be painted up as well. There's no nail varnish, unfortunately. Do you know where you? And we're going to see if Brad's got a question for you in a second. But do you know where you're sitting yet? Whereabouts? Are you high up or low down? Or
yeah, well, I was lucky enough. I managed to get a seat through work, so I think I'm round the side. Up above the dugout side, I think.
Dugout,
that's where
right.
I am. I don't know exactly where I am, but
no,
I'm inside, and that's the main thing.
Exactly. Brad, have you got anything you want to ask our roving reporter?
You know what, Craig? I just want to say, as much as I'm jealous that you've managed to snag yourself a ticket there, I am loving hearing the noise in the background, mate. It's genuinely bringing a tear to my eye. Just let. Obviously, we've got an understanding on how it might feel. Just let the fans at home that are watching know just how good does it feel, mate, to be able to not just stand outside a stadium, but be there and know you're going to actually see a live game. How good is? How have the nerves gone for you throughout the day?
Yeah, it's as you can hear in the background. I mean, when you hear the fans starting, you forget or you remember what you've missed. This 18 months. So since we've actually had this, it does bring a sort of lump to your throat and a tear to your eye a little bit that we've missed all this. But what a game to come back to. I mean, if you could pick any game, an FA Cup final is the game to come back to.
That was going to be my next question. It's not a bad first game back, is it? A cup final at Wembley. If you've got to go back to anything, make it the cup final.
Yeah, I know. Right, I've got to go now, guys, but I'm going to try and hook back up when I get inside.
Brilliant, mate. You have a great time. Enjoy it. Okay, and bring the cup back with you, mate. Bring the cup back with you. Thanks very much for joining us. Take care. Stay safe. Cheers. We're not jealous at all, are we, Brad?
You know what? I'm not even. Actually, I'm not going to lie. That's got me quite. I could hear the fans as if I was sat next to them in the background singing the Leicester songs while Craig was talking. That settled my nerves a bit because I feel almost a part of it. And as daft as that sounds, I feel a bit more a part of the day.
Yes,
getting that out.
I'm not. I mean, it's great that he's done that, and absolutely, I really do thank Craig. I mean, he's gone down there in all of that, and he's still managed to sort of give us a bit of his time. So, thank you so much for that, Craig. It's great to see that, isn't it? And as I say, I joke because I'm not jealous. I'm just pleased that some fans, because it was so close to, let's be honest with you, having no fans at all. So the fact that some fans can go is just a great music. I did this earlier, but this is kind of true at the moment, isn't it?
It really is, and I think it's in all aspects of our clubs that fans of every other team do dream in their own way. Obviously, you'll argue, well, Man City and that they've made Champions League finals. I'm sure they don't dream of being Leicester fans, but I think it's just a consensus of what's going on at Leicester what the future holds potentially for Leicester and the powers that are running the club at Leicester, it's very close to as true a statement you're going to get to describe our club as its state is right now. Where a few fans have said to me, "I tell you what, I won't support your team over mine, but I don't half envy your owners and how it's done.
Yeah.
They do it, can't sing our club praises enough without swapping teams."
Yes,
So
and that picture. I mean, that picture there, and Top's got to be thinking about his dad, hasn't he, today? And it's going to be at the back of his mind, as all of us here that are sort of thinking. I mean, I never watched football with my dad, but I know a lot of people did. But the fact that look at them. I mean, you couldn't ask for a nicer picture, could you?
No, you really couldn't. And the thing is, it's not like he's just come out today and suddenly wanted to make an appearance as if to show he cares. All of a sudden, they do this all the time. They've been doing it since day one at the club. And that picture just shows you how strong the bond is. Craig's very right. If you haven't checked it out already, guys, go and listen to that Kasper Schmeichel interview on BBC. Actually, if you're feeling quite emotional,
don't do it until we finish.
Wait until we finish because we're amazing and better. We're amazing and better. But if you're feeling a bit emotional, maybe wait until after the show. Definitely wait until after the show because it's quite a touching interview that Kasper has that just shows that that's always been there and it's been carried on since. It's not just been that title winning season and now it's been from there till now that it's always been and it sounds like it's almost a deciding factor. He's made his approach and how he is and how he treats the players, and how he's so dedicated to the club and the fact that he's doing everything for football reasons. Obviously, there's business. Obviously, there is. We're not stupid. We're not naive. We know there's a business sense behind it. But like you said earlier at the show, Chris, when you did that wonderful presentation about his father, they've always bought into the football club.
Yes.
And I think I said it yesterday, and you backed it up with your words as well, with what you said as well. It's one of them where I think there's certain players, there's certain times during his reign of ownership of this club that maybe under other owners, not necessarily the ones we've had, but if someone else had taken over that had just seen it as a business, they wouldn't have stayed as long as they had, or wouldn't still be here like they are now. It sounds like some of them players really have gone, you know what, I'd rather work for this owner than go to a club because I truly believe they can achieve what they're asking for.
Excuse me 1 second. Excuse me, the gin went down the wrong way. Now I don't drink, children. If you're watching, do not drink. It's not recommended. I do find, and I mentioned this to other fans of other clubs that. Yes, I mean, you've got owners that pump money into it, but how often have you seen Kroenke down the Emirates? How often have you seen the Glaziers down Old Trafford? Yeah. I think the answer to both of those is nil. They are down there all the time. They go down to the training. Don't just go down, have a meal, visit the stadium and go home. We've been I don't remember you. If you remember, sorry, I do remember you, but I don't know if you remember when we were in trouble. Mandrich came in and bought us, and he'd owned Portsmouth just down the road from me here, and he sold Portsmouth. I think it was to a guy called Gay Dark or something like that, and he turned out to be the biggest
fraud going.
Yeah, thank you. That was the word that I was looking for. He was, and. That was my worry because I said this on yesterday's show, who the hell are these Thai people that are coming in that are owning us? And, when you looked at Mandrich, yes, he saved us and then he sells the club on. That's what he does. But he saved a few clubs that way from going out of business. But there was that worry at the start, wasn't there? I think the first thing that made me believe in them was the fact that they turned around and said to Mandrich, will you stay for 6 months or whatever it is and just talk us through this? And I'm thinking, like, maybe they've got their head on the shoulders.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if many people remember it because obviously it didn't last too long. It was squashed pretty quickly. But the tie owners of Man City were getting chased out of Manchester roughly about around about that same time that the tie owners brought Leicester were coming in. And if anyone remembers it, it was, like I said, it was quashed pretty quickly because then the takeover happened not long afterwards. But there was rumours that they were checking their legitimacy because of, like you said, the Portsmouth thing with Mandrich that happened, the tie owners being run out of Manchester at that point. And you know what? I'm blessed it kind of did happen because it meant that they were, in the nicest way possible, they were scrutinised in the best way because everything came through kosher. And, well, look where we are now, thanks to that. If that, like you said, there's a big difference between just chucking 500 billion at a club and running it properly, and that is something that Leicester City's owners have always done, and long may it continue. In fact, long may he have kids and they take over. Long may he have kids and they do
very, very quickly, because we're coming up to 4:15 and the team will be announced at 4:15, I'm guessing an hour before. But, we mentioned earlier about we are everybody's, we're the team that everybody wants to win. I got a message off a mate who's a Manchester United fan saying, come on, Leicester. I had a message off a Tottenham friend. That's probably not surprising because they probably hate Chelsea, but I think we are sort of turning into sort of everybody's, like I say, with the underdog, and I think I love us being the underdog. And I'm going to say hi to Cricket Field NTV here, which is the Burnley station, and of course I like Burnley because I lived there for 20 years. Managed to escape. I found the tunnel and got out, but great channel. Give him a like, give him a follow, and he does some good stuff on his YouTube channel, Cricket Field NTV. I always love the fact that when I lived in Burnley, and I did go to Burnley because obviously I wanted to see football. The fact that the away fans were always in that end, and it's a football ground with a stand called the Cricket End. I love that. But thanks for your best wishes, mate. And like he said there, Leicester are built, not bought. That is very true.
That's a very true statement. I like that statement. We are built, not bought, and that's something that's heartwarming, isn't it? I think as a Leicester fan, in the nicest way possible, when people of like he has just there, like Cricket Field, and has just there, and other fans have, it kind of gives you a smug smile, doesn't it? Not like oh, look at me, I'm really rich. It's like, oh, look at us, we've got really great owners and everybody recognises it. That's the feeling you get.
I mean, I'm just looking at Twitter here, waiting for the team to come up, and there's pictures of the FA Cup, on display at Wembley, and it is bringing a lump to my throat. I'm not going to lie, but it's a bit worrying. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a little bit of a 10-second break, Brad. So please keep your pajamas.
I've got my charger. Don't worry. I've got my charger. I don't need to move.
Thank God for that. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you 20 seconds just in case. And then hopefully when we come back, we're going to be talking team news before we go and get ready for the match. Back after this.
You are watching and listening to Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and your favourite podcasts.
It is indeed. Let's just do this one.
Right. Well, that went a bit weird my end, but I think it worked full screen on yours because it sort of froze me but didn't bring it up fully. So I hope the rest of them saw that. Otherwise, all they got was me just doing this.
Blowing kisses at the screen. That was strange because that actually, when I've got a lot of videos linked up, it doesn't usually play, and that's why I always say I don't know if it's playing at your end, but those actually played well at my end. So I've got a feeling Johnny's not going to play, and it hasn't come up yet, but That's the big question, isn't it? And because it affects everything, like you say, it could affect the formation.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, when you're asked a question like that, especially on the Friday when he was asked about Evans, in a weird way, there's something in a manager's mind when you're asked a question about team selection and someone of Evans's caliber and quality and what he brings to the team.
Oh, right, we've got the team.
I was going to say, you don't want to give anything away, so we'll find out.
No.
Go on.
Go. So we've got Schmeichel in goal.
Yeah. Go on, we'll do it that way.
A little surprise. We've then got now I'll just read it out the way that it's done, then we'll have a look at the formation. We've got Castagna, Soyuncu, Evans, Fofana, Thomas, Ndidi, Tillemans, Perez, Iheanacho, and Vardy.
So he's gone for a 5-3.
Yes, I think he's gone
for a 5-3-2, and it'll probably push up to a 3-5-2
when we're attacking. Yes.
Well, as long as Evans doesn't understand it, that's the way. I was probably. I'm not going to lie. My formation was thinking like you were, that the way they're going on about it, Evans isn't 100% fit. He is brilliant. I'm happy with the lineup.
Yes,
I'm very happy with that lineup.
I mean, we talk about, and we have differences of opinion. Of course we do. It'd be very boring if we sat here and agreed on everything. And the formation was one. And the funny thing was, I've always been a 4-4-2 man. But actually, but at the moment, I do like that formation. And I think it is the best team he could have gone for with those players that are available.
Yeah, definitely. I think
now,
the thing is,
talk for a while I try and bring the graphic up. So have a talk for a while. You got my permission to talk a long time here, Brad.
Oh, yippee! I'll make the most of it. Well, it's one of them things, isn't it? With what's available to us, and now we definitely know that Evans is available to us. It's definitely the strongest lineup, and the one that I think, if there's no doubt on who's fully fit, I probably would have maybe been swayed to have agreed with you and gone with the 3 centre backs instead of 2. I just feel that I think it's one of them that if we've discussed it and said it before, if one of them 3 is not available, we cannot play a back 3 because it just throws them out of sync. You some people came in the comments and you threw out the idea of maybe potentially a Marty going into a back 3 if Evans in there, and no disrespect to Marty, he's come in and done a job before, but not just because of the occasion, but because we've seen that when we've tried that more times than not, it's failed. I'm very hesitant to play a back 3 if it's not them 3. But it's a good lineup. It's a strong lineup, and like you said, with what's available to us, and if we'd have known Evans was fully fit all along and available, it's probably the lineup 99% of Leicester fans would have gone with. So it's very good.
Yeah.
And we got the answer. It's Perez. He's going to obviously. Do we know the sub bench? Is that on that list at all? I'm assuming Madison's on there.
Is Ward Morgan. So I have a feeling who will be playing the last minute of the game and maybe going up to get the cup.
When we're 3-0 up against Chelsea, stick him up front. He can do a Matt Elliott.
Yeah. Just for the last minute, Amati, Ricardo, Chowdhury, Mendy, Pratt, Albrighton, and Madison.
All right. So I was thinking, God, it's not. What's Madison?
I left that till the end just to get you going.
So he's gone for that approach. He's obviously hoping we can conjure something up in the first. And not have to bring on Madison too early into the game, and because this goes extra time, doesn't it? It doesn't go straight penalties.
Extra time and penalties. Yeah.
Which can play an effect. I mean, I'm assuming if the Leicester lineup's gone, do you want to maybe do a comparison between Chelsea's lineup and see how strong they've gone?
I'm just going to get Chelsea's up here. They have gone.
Because I'd imagine they've gone quite strong, considering.
Yeah, they've gone Kepa in goal.
Well, they had no choice.
You just doing this just to test my pronunciations. As he quote him as the guy, as Thiago Silva, him as well. Yeah, he plays well. Diego Silva, Rudiger, James, Kante, Jorginho, Alonso, Ziyech, Werner, and Mount.
Yeah, that's pretty like for like in what probably Chelsea fans were expecting and what Leicester fans were expecting for an 11. So it's there you are now. The fireworks are up and running. The fans know the teams, and it'll be one where you can start to just sit back and maybe enjoy
let's say good afternoon to Paul Reed, ex-Leicester player. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon. How are we doing? You okay?
Yeah, we're good. How are you feeling?
Optimistic, really. It's a one-off game that everyone knows about. If Leicester play to their best, then anything can happen. Although obviously Chelsea are a decent team, very strong defensively, but they've got the players that can unlock a decent defence. So fingers crossed, it's going to all go well for them this afternoon.
And have you seen the team?
I haven't. No, I've literally just got back in from work. Had a quick shower.
I know. I was going to say. I know you were struggling. So let me just see if I can. And obviously, I know you're sort of over in Wales, aren't you, at the moment?
Yes,
so
yeah.
I don't know sort of again exactly how much you see of the team, and excuse the fact that you've now gone to the behind the picture, but just to confirm, there it is. Schmeichel in goal, Castagne, Soyuncu, Evans, Fofana, Thomas, Ndidi, Tielemans, Perez, Inacho, and Vardy. I think that is. I think bringing Perez on from the start. I think Maddison will, for me, he's been playing better as a super sub.
Yeah, I've watched Leicester quite a few times over the last few weeks. I've been impressed with them, but Brendan's made that decision, and Maddison he's probably going to come on at some point today and hopefully get on the ball and show everyone what he can do. Which he has done in the past.
Hopefully, when their defenders are tiring and we're 3-0 down and we're desperate to get the to get the win. As a player, to these big occasions, not necessarily just finals, but big occasions in general, does the manager try and take pressure off you? Does he try and distract you, or?
I think the way that Brendan works, he comes across as calm, collective, and that's the way he is. He'd probably go about his business doing exactly the same thing, the same prep as for people say it's a cup, a cup final, but he'll still have the way that he preps his team, the way that they eat, the time that they eat. If they meet, they go for a walk or whatever they do. He'll stick to that. There's no point in changing. It's a bit like Neil Warnock when obviously I played under Neil Warnock quite a few times, got into playoff finals, and he didn't change anything. He still sticks to the way that he looks after the team during the season. So I would imagine Brendan being the type of character and that he is, and the type of person he is, he'll probably stick to the same way, the same themes of what they've been doing. The same team meeting, same time, and things like that. So it does help today being supporters there, which is great for the city and great for the fans. I'm really looking forward to the game because it'll be a cracking game. Two good footballing teams, and just hopefully on the day Leicester can show everyone, in the world, not just in the country, in the world, what they can do and what they have done under Brendan.
I don't know if it's coming across. My smile's getting bigger the more that I'm looking at that clock, and I think we're getting down to the kick-off time. I can't stop smiling, but at least I'm smiling at this end, and it's not affecting the other end at the moment. Brad, the worry is, and we mentioned this earlier, this is just another game to Chelsea. They've played, they've got Champions League finals. They've played at big stadiums. They were in the cup last year. The worry is that our guys might just freeze.
Oh, see, I think, Reed's hit, you've hit the nail on the head, Paul Reed. He's hit the nail on the head there. That if Brendan's doing it the same way he treats any other game this season, because I think sometimes what managers can do is make too much of the occasion, and that's when a team might freeze and it might go wrong for them, because it's all good saying to a player, no, it's a final, grasp it, take the ball by the horns. But if you emphasise that too much, that's when the pressure comes, and that's where they might come out and make a mistake that costs us the game or concedes a goal at that point. Whereas if Brendan gets them relaxed and the players, the players know it's an FA Cup final. They don't need reminding 300 times from 2 o'clock this morning till kick-off. If he lets them go about the business, they'll probably find that they're more relaxed. They know the occasion. They know what it means to them personally. And whereas Chelsea as a club, you could easily say, oh, well, they've won loads of FA Cups. They've final last year. They're used to this. They've recruited quite a lot. And, if the world's from other players from different countries in Germany and Italy that say they sit down and watch the FA Cup final, I would be very surprised if Timo Werner and Hazard and Havertz and players like that for Chelsea aren't getting nerves from the occasion themselves, because they do really like the English FA Cup because it's historically one of the biggest cup competitions available, and it's obviously the longest cup competition. So there'll be still nerves in Chelsea's camp. Yeah. So it's all about how they handle the occasion as a collective.
Paul, how would you feel if you were Chilwell? Ex-Leicester player, final against his ex-club, and he's not in the starting lineup.
He'll be gutted, obviously. But I still, with the likes of him as well, I think he probably still hold a little soft spot for Leicester anyway. Although he's playing, he's moved on and gone to Chelsea. He'll be disappointed that he's not in the team. I dare say the boys who would have been playing against him, would have loved to have had that challenge of playing against him. For Chelsea in a massive cup final. And just going on what Brad was saying about, like Chelsea being nervous and stuff like that. The likes of Leicester. No one expected them to get to the cup final. Nobody expected them to win the league. So they've gone about the business. They've kept calm all throughout everything. And I was listening to a little thing this morning on Twitter with Jamie Vardy, who's talking to 2 ex-teammates when they were at Fleetwood. And if anybody ever gets a chance to watch it, it's brilliant because Jamie Vardy they were saying, how do you find it now playing at that top level and having played at the bottom? He said, well, I had to work hard for it. And I'm still working hard now. And what he said about Brendan, saying that Brendan's taught him 1 or 2 new things. I remember when Leon Britton was playing for Swansea and Brendan was manager. And I spoke to Leon about it. And he was running here, there and everywhere outside. He said, Leon, what are you doing that for? Stay in between the 18-yard box. That's all I want you to do. Break the play up, get on the ball and pass it simple. And he made a career in the Premier League by doing just a simple thing, what Brendan Rodgers told him to do. So, listen to that Jamie Vardy thing. He's always going to work hard. So, they're going to go into this game full of it, having been at the bottom. And now he's playing, to the top of his level. Although he's not been scoring lately, he's still performing, still creating. And, to be fair, Iniacho's getting the goals now, which is
I was on
in the pair.
Yeah, I was on Talk Sport this morning and we were talking about Jamie Vardy's role, etc. And I said to them, this would be a fantastic end to the story. He's come from non-league. He was the first £1 million player to come from non-league. He won the Division 1, the Championship title with Leicester. He's won the Premier League with Leicester. He's played for England. He scored in major competitions. He's got the Golden Boot for us. He won the Premier League with us. Winning the FA Cup. That's the film finished, isn't it, Paul?
Oh, that'd be some career for it. And again, he said, one of the boys said, "How do you feel about playing?" He said, "I still can't believe what's happened to me." He's still, even though now he's played for England, he scored for England, he's in the cup final, he's won the league, and he still has that mentality that he needs to work hard and he can still improve even at his age. So it'd be great.
Yeah. Brilliant. Thank you. Thanks for coming on. We're going to wrap it up now. Just give us a quick score prediction before you go.
Well, in my heart, I'm hoping Leicester are going to really smash them, but I don't think it's going to be that. I think it'll probably be a tight game. Hopefully, Leicester will squeeze through 2-1. Jamie Vardy to score winner
in the 89th minute. That will take that. Paul, I'm sorry it's short and sweet, but we've already go and make sure we've got the beer stocked up in the fridge and everything. So,
I'm ready and waiting.
Hey, good man.
Good man, there you go.
It's a good job we did this one then. You're sober. The one, if we do one after the show, you'll be absolutely, you won't be sober. Let's just put it that way. Hey, mate, stay safe. Thanks very much for coming on, and we'll speak to you again soon and get you on a bit longer.
Thanks for inviting me. It's been really good again.
Brilliant. Cheers. Thank you.
On, mate.
Cheers. Bye.
Brad, very quickly, score predictions.
2-0 Leicester.
2-0 Leicester. Well, like I say, everybody says that I always lie about the score. So just to prove that this is what I go to, because I've got the last two I've done right. I've gone 2-1 to Leicester. So fingers crossed. And let's just hope it's not extra time and hope it's not penalties. I mean, guys, look at this.
Definitely.
1949, 1961, 1963, 1969. That's all on the lost side. Can 2021 be on the winning side? It can be, can't it, Brad?
Yeah, it certainly can. Certainly can.
Okay. Hey, guys, just to let you know, if you're watching, don't post. Well, if you post anything to the group during the game, it won't get authorized because Brad and me are going to go off and watch the game and not mess about with with the group. We're just going to enjoy it. So anything you post will probably be authorized.
Quick question: Are we still playing the post match by ear, or are we committed to that yet? I'm sorry to ask now. I just want to these guys know as well why they're here.
I think unless you see it come up, and I won't just do it without sort of checking, but I think we're going to go tomorrow morning with that one.
At 11, yeah? So it'll be 11 if nothing
10:30, I think I've got it now. 10:30.
Oh, all right. I'll shake off the hangover. I've never had one, but I've got a feeling today might be the case. Leicester win the FA Cup.
It is all dependent upon the score, and dependent upon the amount of beer that is consumed. Brad, enjoy the match as much as you can, mate. As always, thanks for everything. Mate. And I will see you at some point for the post-match show. Come on, you foxes. Take care, mate. So thanks to Brad there, and don't forget you can pick this up on Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube, and don't forget to give us an old subscribe. And if you want to listen to us rather than see us, we are on Anchor, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podcast Addict, to name but a few. And we couldn't leave without just playing this one more time. I think thank you doesn't come close, really, does it? But hey, have we all got our... I've got to get this the right way around. It's like the Union Jack. You have to have it the right way up. Have we all got our flags ready? Got the scarves? Got the face paint on? Guys, we'll see you at some point. It's probably going to be tomorrow because we'll either be drunk because we are peed off or drunk because we're celebrating. One of the two. We've got to do it, haven't we? We'll see you at some point. Come on, you foxes. Let's bring the silverware home.
Matt Elliott here. Be sure to watch Leicester Till I Die TV on YouTube and follow all their social media platforms for all the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Thanks for watching Leicester Till I Die. This is Chris saying goodbye and see you next time.
Some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now.